sometimes excessively aggressive performance from Lleyton Hewitt on the court. Lleyton Hewitt, of course, even at the tender age of 20, has won 7 career singles titles already in his short career. He's won the 4 of those in Australia, 2 titles in Adelaide, 2 in Sydney. He won the Queen's Club tournament on grass last year. That was a huge feather in his cap. And he was a finalist in the Masters Series tournament in Stuttgart, lost to Wayne Ferreira there, and was also a finalist in Rome, the Italian Open Championships on clay last year. So he's adept at the surface. He is a tiger. He's a young man on the up. He's been ranked as high as 7 in the world, and Fernando Meligeni is going to know that he's had a match when he walks off the court against Lleyton Hewitt.
No doubt about that. Fernando's rather flashy and proud.
3 titles for Meligeni, as I said before, all on clay in Borstad, Pinehurst in the US, and also in Prague, so he gets around a bit. He's been a finalist also on clay in Mexico City, semi-finals of the French, as I mentioned, and twice there to the round of 16, going back as early as 1993 and again in 1998. And a very, very accomplished player. Has been outstanding right from his junior days. He won the Orange Bowl, which was considered the World Junior Championship event in 1989, and was ranked the number 3 junior in the world that year. So look, he's a terrific player on clay. He's a very, very respectable opponent for Lleyton Hewitt, but given recent form, given their ranking, given their age difference, and a lot of other factors, you'd have to give the edge surely to Lleyton Hewitt.
Although he has been playing on the tour since Lleyton was 8 years of age.
And Hewitt, as we mentioned, is a difficult opponent for some other players to deal with, and for the spectators at some places to deal with, because of his aggressive behaviour. But they know how good he is. Certainly the Brazilian coach, Ricardo Acioli, knows all about Lleyton Hewitt. The Meligeni match is going to be very tough against somebody like Lleyton Hewitt.
Yes. I think it's going to be a great match to watch, to be in it. I'm already excited to be on court because both guys are really outgoing. They get on with the public. Lleyton is in his way, and Fernando also in his way. Fernando has had great results on clay. He is a top-class player on clay. And I think he's going to give a very good shot against Hewitt. So.
What about the crowd? Fernando Meligeni had a very sparse year last year because of injury. Had the disappointment against Australia on grass in Brisbane in the Davis Cup. Had just one quarter-final result. That was in Acapulco early last year. And apart from that, nothing at all to speak of. But he's come back with a vengeance. And he's done all right for himself the past few months. As I said, quarterfinals in Acapulco. The only title win that he's had, though, in the last 18 months has been one of those Challenger Series events, a $100,000 event in Guadalajara. But in major tour events, just a couple of quarterfinals in Munich and Bucharest. So his best form is back in 1999, but he's on the way back and he's at home. He's a character too.
Yeah, he really is. He's very flashy at times, and he does like to become involved with the crowd. While we've not seen him play in front of his home crowd here in Brazil, I would imagine that he will really enjoy their support, as he did enjoy the French, the support of the French when he did so well at the French in 1999.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the start of play in this second singles rubber. And that was indoors in Paris in 1999. Straight sets to Hewitt on that occasion too. But here we are in this extraordinary temporary structure in Florianopolis on the island of Santa Catarina, off the coast of Brazil. The stadium is perched virtually right on the water's edge. The governor's mansion just across the way. Been a squadron of military helicopters popping in and out of the governor's front lawn all day that we've been sitting up here at the top of the stand, the northern end of the stand. It's an extraordinary place.
It's Brazilian coach.
The guy with the, yeah, that's him, with the cap and the mustache. That's Larry Passos, Kearton's personal coach and the coach of the Brazilian team. So there's Ricardo Acioli. We just heard him talking about Leighton Hewitt in this match against Fernando Meligeni. Meligeni's ready and getting a big cheer from the hometown, or from the home crowd, not hometown for him. Actually, he was born in Buenos Aires in Argentina. Meligeni.
Ao serviço, Austrália.
Leighton Hewitt to serve in the opening game.
Por favor.
Jorge Diaz, call me George, from Portugal, is in the chair.
The type of tennis that you may well expect to see. Incredible baseline point, aggressive hitting from both players. You're pressing too much from the final forehand.
I did say earlier that Hewitt was a finalist in Rome last year. That was my mistake. He was a semi-finalist in Rome. Lost to Magnus Norman in the semis. Norman went on to win the tournament. That's just great stuff, isn't it? He's on fire, Meligeni, right from the start.
Leighton spent a lot of hours playing against Scott Draper, who's left-handed. Practiced with him yesterday once the draw was set. Hits back, upping the ante, taking the ball early, thumping it from three-quarter court, first off the forehand, then the two-fister, leaving Meligeni stranded mid-court.
Leighton last year won titles in Adelaide, Sydney, Scottsdale, and at Queens. Runner-up in Stuttgart, semi-finals at the US Open, and the Italian in Rome.
Bad luck there for Leighton, making a good move to the net into the backhand of Meligeni. Meligeni coming up with the passing shot, whipped the top of the net and just bumped the ball over the racket of Leighton. Leighton had it all covered. .1540. First game of the second rubber. Australia lost the first when Petrafter had to default to Gustavo Kerr. Great all-court play from Leighton, a developing player, and this is the aspect of the game that Darren Cahill has worked on so much to make him into an all-court player. Darren and his wife Vicky just celebrated the birth of their first child, a beautiful bouncing boy. Trying to take the return of serve on the forehand, which he was able to do.
Like Pat Rafter, Hewitt coming off a semi-final finish in Miami last week in the Ericsson Masters Series event. Already this year, he's been a quarter-finalist in Adelaide, winner in Sydney, quarter-finalist in San Jose, and then 3 semi-finals on the run in Scottsdale, in Indian Wells, and as I said last week, in Miami. So he's match fit and always tough. Got the game after being down 15-40. 1-love to Hewitt and Australia.
Play best of 2. Play 2 sets, and if it's 1 set all, play a tiebreak.
Good effort there, Hewitt, to come back against Meligeni, who in the opening few points was hitting the ball like Superman.
Yes, even when he was 15-40 down, he was playing with a great deal of assurance.
Structured point. Fernando is a very expansive, extravagant hitter of the ball, isn't it?
Yes, a lot of flair, a lot of flourishes.
Does have a great propensity, Meligeni, though, to put himself under pressure, doesn't he?
Yes, he's maybe feeling a little bit of tension. He's pressing a little bit too much. He's suffering the disappointment of having had 2 break points in the opening game. Didn't convert. The feeling that his bravado and his confidence might have rather a thin veneer. Like the confidence of Leighton Hewitt, it's got real depth to it. Total faith and confidence in his own ability. regardless of the circumstance or who he's playing against.
Very difficult to hear the umpire here. He's got. It's hard enough with the crowd noise anyway. But he just doesn't seem to be on mic at all, Jorge Diaz.
As Wazza, the king of the fanatics, much travelled young man. He's doing a PhD in beer tasting around the world.
Well, he's certainly been getting around a few places in the footsteps of the Australian Davis Cup team. 2-love, break of serve for Lleyton Hewitt. Yes, Andres Hegley in the opening match was much more distinct. You could hear him calling the scores, but Jorge Diaz, it's virtually impossible. And as I said, they've got a very rudimentary scoreboard here. It doesn't show any change in the points score, only in the game score. And sometimes with the roar of the crowd, it's difficult to hear whether calls are in or out and what score has been called.
Point by both players. Fernando getting the better, forcing his way to the net. Lleyton on the full run with the two-fister back across court. Meligeni there with a gentle touch on the forehand volley. That was just a little bit too flash, but it comes off. Beautiful touch on the forehand drop shot, just catching the top of the net.
Dropped right on top of it, didn't it? And it just fell over.
It did seem a little bit extravagant, as you've often said of him, from beyond the baseline. That's the sort of tennis he has to produce if he's going to win points against Lleyton.
He's got an opening here at 15:30. Down a break already, the Brazilian.
Let off for Lleyton. Easy miss off the return of serve on the second ball. Meligeni way behind the baseline also, as was Curtin in the opening match. Interesting ploy there by Lleyton. Went with the slider wide to the left-hander's backhand. Went for the serve volley. picked up the half volley quite well. Meligeni gets set, rips it down the line. Leighton looking for the cross-court pass. All part of the development of Leighton's game. Break point.
Bit of a dispute going on in the stand over here, not involving any of the Australian supporters. It's just an internal Brazilian thing.
Tennis from Leighton on break point down again. Being the aggressor, standing up closer to the baseline, taking the ball earlier. Meligeni stranded 3 or 4 meters beyond the baseline. Hewitt leading 2 games to love, an early break. Juice, 3rd game. First rubber won by Gustavo Curtin over Pat Rafter.
Great volley, great overhead, great smash, great shots from Hewitt.
It's a thorough performance to this stage. He's played solidly from the back of the court. And his net play is excellent. New dimension to his game, been developing over the last couple of years. He really does look comfortable at the net now. Also shows with better doubles results. First time he's on the mic.
About time. No, it's still getting a bit ugly up there.
Por favor.
Righto, sit. There's a bit of applause from people on the periphery of that group. Something seems to have been resolved. Security guys are leaving with a last word of caution to our substantial friend without the shirt, just to cool it and just take it easy. Otherwise, next time, he's out on his ear. That I'd like to see. Back to the business.
15 love.
Flawless display from Leighton Hewitt.
Other blokes had plenty of chances, Meligeni, but flashy but fragile. I think that's the description of him.
Leighton hitting the ball so heavily from the back of the court. Consistently solid. And as always, quick to the ball. Anything that was a little bit average in the drop shot department will be dealt with. He's so much more adept with his one-hander now, Leighton, particularly from also the back of the court, where he's got a very good sliced backhand off the one-hander. flawless tennis.
And there's the fist from Hewitt. This will get him going.
He needs to be careful. He needs to be careful with that. It's going along very well. Beat Meligeni by about 2 meters down the line there. And he's got 2 break points for a 4-love lead. No need to incite a riot, particularly the big fellow.
That'll save one.
Juice.
2 aces from 1540 to bring it back to juice.
Well, the problem here is you never know quite what to expect, Alan Stone, from Fernando Meligeni. We know what to expect from Hewitt, and he's going to give it to the Brazilian fans too.
Well, he just needs to be a little careful, but I think he's really got to just play his natural style, though, Leighton Hewitt. We've seen him in a couple of big matches in the past where he's tried to be restrained and hasn't really played well in the final of the Davis Cup against France in the first match, and some first-round matches at Wimbledon on the centre court when he's tried to contain himself. He really has played inhibited matches and hasn't been able to play at his best. So, providing he can just, you know, not overdo it, I think he should just be himself. And as you said, Meligeni's a very flashy player. That's the exact description for Meligeni. And he can get pumped up and the crowd can get behind him. He's a bit of he's a trick shot artist, and he can fire up if things work out for him.
Yeah, he's a streaky player. If he gets that lift, that edge of confidence, and gets a run of winners and the crowd behind him, he's very difficult. But as I said, flashy but fragile, and that's what Hewitt's going to need to work on. So 3 games to 1. Hewitt serving now. I don't know whether the referee, Alan Mills, has spoken personally to Leighton Hewitt. He told me, Mills, that if necessary he would speak personally. He has spoken to John Fitzgerald, I know, about Hewitt's aggressive demeanour on the court, just to let him know that, you know, where we are, and if possible to contain it just a little if he can. You, but I can't hear myself think.
risks on the forehand. And Hewitt still getting the ball back, forcing him to play one more ball.
Rinteg Wise, 30 all.
Beautiful sliding serve. That's the serve that Leighton's been working on. Peter Smith has been travelling with Leighton, who is Leighton's original coach. Actually taught him how to play. He's passed the reins on to Darren Cahill, but while Darren's been at home being Father of the Year, Peter's been travelling with Leighton over the last several weeks. Working on that sliding serve, going out wide.
Bit of a legend, Pete Smith. He's been around a long while. I think he had a hand in John Fitzgerald's early career too, didn't he?
Absolutely. He's really been very influential in the creating of three great international players, John and his own son. Won the NC3As.
So Hewitt holds serve and leads by 4 games to 1 in the first set of this second singles rubber.
Time.
Oh, are they? Oh, the crowd is getting stirred up here. The gentleman that was causing the problem earlier is still pushing at the outside of the envelope. There he is. Security people are in close attendance, and it won't take much more, I don't think, for them to move on him.
Yeah, but can they move him? That's the question. They moved on him before, but
maybe they've sent for reinforcements. He's settled down again for the moment, but he's certainly trying to get the crowd worked up.
Need to get Mike Tyson to grab him by the ear.
Meligeni serving, 1-4 down, first set.
Wait.
Play by Hewitt, really keeping Meligeni off balance.
Leighton coming up with a terrific variety of shot. This very heavily backspun drop shot from just beyond the baseline, on the angle.
Spooned it a little bit, Hewitt.
He did well to stay on that point, but being stretched wide by the left-handed forehand, going wide to his backhand, coming back with the one-hander, and then a little bit embarrassed by that short one across court, short and low.
It's 30 all.
winner.
Right on the line. Maintaining the ball so cleanly, crisply. Not easy to generate winners on this surface. Break point for Australia, for a double break.
Good serve.
Maybe in his previous service game, he saved 2 break points with aces. This time an unreturnable first ball. An ace.
Survives again, but he is still 1 break down, and Hewitt leads by 4 games to 2 in the first set.
Australia is 4 balls. So it's 4-2.
A little bit of a break in that high overcast for the moment, and sun shining through. Already hot. If this was to break up even at this late stage of the day, well, it's not late, not here, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon, still got time to turn into a scorcher for the remainder of the afternoon.
Serve Kings. Love 15. Kings 15 more.
Solid tennis again from Leighton. First serve, just moving inside the baseline, taking the forehand, 3/4 court off forehand, wrong footing. Meligeni.
To finish in a 5-2 lead for Hewitt. So, just after coming up 2:20 in the afternoon here in Florianapolis, and a long way to go yet in this second match. What a day it's been already. Day of drama with Pat Rafter being forced to forfeit the opening singles rubber to Gustavo Kirten. With what's said to be a cramp in his arm. Well, he didn't make that shot, but so far there's been no cramping Leighton Hewitt style.
Meligeni just pressed a little bit on the backhand. Still at set point. And that ball just kept a little bit low, and Meligeni saves 2 set points.
Big one. Hughes. Wait. Double.
Meligeni comes back from 15-40 down to hang on, stay within sight of Leighton Hewitt. And now serve for the first set. It's 5-3. Yes, Fanatics with their kangaroo outnumbered. John Fitzgerald, a lot on his mind. He'll have to be weighing up Pat Rafter's condition. Trying to stay focused on the task at hand. He'd have to be happy with the way Leighton's playing. Leighton taking the ball early, well inside the baseline, playing up on the ball, whereas Meligeni constantly way beyond the baseline.
30%.
Just 2 points from wrapping up the first set. Very comfortable. Right on the center line. That ace, he now has 3 set points.
Meligeni, you just never know when he's going to pull these shots out. He's such a free hitter over the ball. And that's the first set to Leighton Hewitt, sending a very clear message to the Brazilians, to Meligeni and to the fans. 6-3 Australia, first set, second rubber. First set to Hewitt, 6-3, watering the court to get it to settle down again. They're not going to have much success getting the crowd to settle down though. The big fellow and his friends up in the stands are at it again, and security people are there in force, and there's a fierce argument going on as we see replay of the final point of that previous set, final points rather of that previous set. And Meligeni, as we said, he can be brilliant, but he can also be just a little too loose at times. And you pay the penalty for that against somebody like Leighton Hewitt. The team urging him on, but Hewitt has, as John Alexander said, looked the goods from the moment he walked on the court here. And he certainly has delivered for Australia in this first set. The standoff continues. Our big friend has donned a shirt, but you can't mistake him still. And his friends are getting into the act now, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving starting again. The security people are going to have to put a lid on this very quickly. Oh. Well, they're going to make an endeavour now really to remove him. Now the friends are getting involved. This is going to turn ugly. It's turned ugly. I hope the security people know what they're doing. I hope they've got enough backup to handle this. Otherwise, they should never have started it. I know it's a difficult situation, and they've got to get a lid on it somehow.
The big fella seems to be willing to go. He's making some promises to see him later.
He's got a pretty good grip on that scaffolding, but the security guys have got a good grip on him and one of his mates. And the crowd are applauding because they don't want to see this either. These two guys have been revving it up in that section of the melted into the background, and he and one other were left to face the security guys alone, and they've been overwhelmed and removed, and thankfully. But that's just an indication of just how volatile things can be with the Brazilian crowds in this part of the world. It doesn't take much to set them off, even amongst themselves.
The other thing is, though, that there is such a clear intention by the Tennis Association to stay on top of anything that could be troublesome. because they were penalised several years ago with not being allowed to have a home game for 2 years.
It was Thomas Muster, wasn't it? It was against Austria, and Muster
left the court.
Left the court because we better pay attention to what's going on. The match has resumed. Change of shirt for Meligeni. Change of shirt for Hewitt too, for that matter, but a change of colour for Meligeni. Yes, that was a ferocious encounter between Austria and Brazil, and Muster walked off. Things were being thrown from the stands on that occasion. He refused to return. Austria had to forfeit the match, but then Brazil had to forfeit the right to have home matches for the ensuing 2 years. They don't want to have to pay that kind of penalty again. And this is one of the reasons Alan Mills was concerned about Hewitt's aggressive behaviour, and he says that's the way, that's his style, that's the way he has to play at his best, and that's fine. Oh, what a bounce.
And that's what happens when you water the court. The water gets on the plastic lines, and if a ball hits the line, it will shoot through like the proverbial Bondi tram.
Anyway, Alan Mills' message to Hewitt was you just got to have be a little circumspect, just have a little regard for the climate we're in.
Forcing too much, coming up with errors, paying the price. He's down double break point. It's on him in a flash. With the double fault, he concedes the break. First game of the second set. Hewitt leads 1-love.
Been more break points in one set of tennis here than there were in the entire Rafter and Kearton match, as far as it went. Before Pat unfortunately had to forfeit. But Leighton Hewitt firmly in control here. A set and a break.
wide on the replay. Hewitt running away with this match a little bit.
But he's a dangerous man, Meligeni. Just when you least expect it, he keeps himself in the point and then rips one past you. The unexpected is perhaps his biggest asset.
Some reaction from the crowd. He fakes as if he's going to smash the ball into the forehand of Meligeni and brings it back down the line. And Blakman is very happy with himself, playing flawless tennis.
Flawless tennis, flawless performance so far, Alan Stone. No complaints about this.
No, look, he's handling the situation very well, isn't he? Because it's very difficult with the crowd and disturbances and delays. And apart from all of that, Hewitt's just going about his business. Could have even won the first set a little bit more comfortably, had so many break points towards the end of it, but he's doing everything pretty well here. A really professional performance so far from Leighton Hewitt.
Here's that. 15-1.
He's been so good, Meligeni hasn't been able to settle.
Somebody just lit a fire under Meligeni. He's ready to go. He's dancing. He's come out fighting here. Don't mess with me, boy.
Por favor. Por favor. Por favor.
That one won't count. Fernando, you weren't listening.
Ricardo out of his chair.
Oh, the umpire had asked them to wait.
Por favor.
And I know Fernando may have had a little difficulty hearing him. Just too extravagant.
Wild error.
What it is, 40-15. Wait.
Meligeni.
Again, Brazil.
It's not.
A lot of talk going on here between Jorge Diaz, the umpire, and the Brazilian captain, Ricardo Acioli.
Time.
I mean, I don't know whether it's still over that delayed point in the previous game. I don't know why he would pursue it, because his man won the game and won it well in the end result anyway. Acioli, by the way, is Meligeni's coach, as well as being the Brazilian captain. So he's got a double interest in taking care of his player. But Hewitt's still up a break here in the second set. 2-1. Took the first 6-3. And has got Meligeni's measure at this point. Hewitt loses now. The crowd just is deafening. He's like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Just looking a little bit more settled now, taking his time with his ground strokes, not overplaying them. Well, Meligeni looking up into the stands, then somebody yelled out just as he was about to strike the ball. Hewitt's back after love 30 down.
Yeah, that's a good performance.
4 straight points and silences the crowd.
3-1.
They're getting just a little bit irritated.
The Fanatics get a raspberry, and a big one every time they try to lend a bit of vocal support to the Australian players. They might jump on Hewitt occasionally, the crowd, but they know good play when they see it too. That was a finely struck shot, wasn't it, from Meligeni? Making a statement here, Meligeni. Still down a break, 3-2 for Hewitt in the second set, winning the first 6-3. I won't say losing the plot, but just being a little overwhelmed early with the consistency of Leighton Hewitt. The first set running away from him 6-3 seems to have got himself together again, John Alexander. I know he's down a break, but the last few games he just seems a lot more solid.
Yes, he seems to be settling down, and I think he came on with great hopes that he'd blast his way to an impressive victory, and he met some pretty stout opposition. And he's had to regroup, which he seems to be doing reasonably well, but he is down a set and a break. Leighton Hewitt serving 3-2, second set. You just can't afford to give Leighton Hewitt just 1 inch. Very complete player these days, very methodical.
One of 4 Davis Cup quarterfinals being played around the world this weekend. Winners here will advance to play either Sweden or Russia. In the other quarterfinals, it's Switzerland against France and Netherlands against Germany. I can tell you that in the Switzerland-France tie, the opening singles match, Marc Rosset is playing Arnaud Clément, and Marc Rosset is serving to level at 14-all in the 5th set.
It looks like he'll win that one easy. Solid game for Leighton Hewitt at love on serve. In set 6-3 and 4-2. Really is imposing himself on this match. One of the fanatics.
They don't often have difficulty making themselves heard, but this is one occasion I think they're just going to have to take a back seat, like it or not.
Seem like a couple of choir boys, don't they?
Meligeni, he's looked good the last couple of games on his own serve. Can he maintain it here?
It's just where he needs to moderate a little bit, Fernando. There's no real need to try for anything too flash there.
Loping strides, so Fernando Meligeni got in there. And that strong left arm of his whipped into the corner.
Leighton was really surprised by that. He had a second look back to work out, how did you do that?
The mark where he slid into it's about 12 feet long on the court.
Scratching the top edge of the frame when he's trying to hit that rather extravagant full topspin backhand.
Holds again. Rafter, though, from Rafter. Hewitt still has the break and leads 4-3. We're a long way south of the border, but they've got a bit of a Mexican wave going here as we return to this extraordinary tennis centre that's been virtually thrown up in the last 5 or 6 days here on the foreshores of Santa Catarina Island, almost in the heart of the city of Florianopolis. That overcast is finally breaking up, and we're getting some brilliant sunshine here in the mid-afternoon now. And it's been a brilliant day so far for Brazil. Not necessarily the fashion in which it was achieved, but Pat Rafter happy to forfeit in the 4th set against Gustavo Kuerten. Put Brazil one up in the tie, but they're a little bit up against it now in the second singles rubber, with Lleyton Hewitt leading by 1-0 and 4-3 ahead and serving in the second set. waited for the right moment, Hewitt. That forcing forehand, too good for Meligeni.
Just wearing down his older opponent.
Almost 10 years the difference between them. Hewitt 20, Meligeni 30 next week.
Poor start with a double fault and wraps up 4 straight points. Goes to a 5-3 lead in the second set. And the crowd is rather quiet. We're hoping for much better than this.
Ball boys aren't quite up to speed, are they?
Not by Australian standards, but then our ball boys are girls have been just tremendous. Long history, long tradition of kids who play a bit of tennis doing a little ball boying.
There from Meligeni.
Interesting play that. Just not trying to do too much with the volley, just short and across court, late and well behind the baseline.
Roar of protest from the crowd, but it was out all right. A lot of wishful thinking here for Meligeni at the moment.
2 set points.
That's a double to give away the set. That's a disappointment for Meligeni in Brazil because Hewitt leads 2 sets to love. 6-3, 6-3.
Ever dreamed of running away to the circus? Coming.
They're watering the court again. 6-3, 6-3, 5-3, serving for the match.
Good combination there, the sliding serve, taking from the
15
out of court,
15
in the
love.
off forehand. Close but ruled wide.
15 iguais. $15. $30, 15, 30, 15.
Understand that Leighton could be coming so tense. He's winning so comfortably, but rather nervous. Serve double fault. And looks it up at 30 all, serving for the match 5-3. Needs to lock on the concentration again.
Really struggling, isn't he, Hewitt? That's quite remarkable. He had 2 match points against Meligeni's serve in the previous game, and now here he is down break point on his own serve, serving for the match. He struggled right from the word go in this third set.
Por favor. Iguais. Juice.
It's at 15-40. It's as if he turned his concentration off. I think he had the match won. It was the first serve fault. Rubbish forehand down the line way too long, and then now just trying to get the concentration back into gear. He's just tensed up a little bit. Made some unforced errors. Tentative double fault at Juice. Match point on serve. Taking a lot of time, walking around the back of the court, just composing himself. Lock the match up now.
Game, set, match, Australia.
A very uniform set of numbers for Leighton Hewitt on the
6-3,
scoreboard.
6-3,
6-3, 6-3, 6-3, although the last set score doesn't really tell the tale, does it? He struggled from the moment they came out for this last stanza of the match, Leighton Hewitt. But give him his due, in difficult circumstances, he remained impervious to just this assault of noise from the Brazilian crowd, and kept himself pretty well contained. He let loose a couple of times with those exhortations that he's become famous for, but not overly aggressive. And I think the match was played in good spirit, and the Brazilians were happy coming into the match because they got a victory, albeit through a forfeit by Pat Rafter. Gustavo Kuerten winning, forfeit from Rafter, 2-1 in the fourth set of the earlier match, put the Brazilians one up. Hewitt has come out, and as the Australians expected, has dealt with Meligeni, but it was a struggle in the third set.
It's a very comprehensive win all in all, although just a little bit of the shine taken off with the hesitation when so close to the finish line by Leighton Hewitt. But if you look at the match in total, it was a very, very comprehensive and thorough victory for the 20-year-old. He showed great poise and a very, very complete game. He's serving and volleying has improved immensely, and his ground strokes were quite lethal right up until the finish line. So a good result for Leighton Hewitt, and not a bad result for Australia considering the shock of the opening match.
Well, they were anticipating that 1-1 would be, they hoped would be at least the situation that they had at the end of the first day, and that's what they've got. But they certainly didn't expect what eventuated with Pat Rafter, and Leighton Hewitt has saved the day. It's 1-1, Australia and Brazil, after the opening singles matches here in Florianopolis.
Up Leighton Hewitt, Superman. He's a gutsy fighter. 1-1 at the end of the day, Alan. I think that John Fitzgerald and Wally Masseur would have taken that if offered on day one, but it's the circumstances around Pat Rafter's demise that is still a bit worrying.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing for Pat, but I think that's a fair result for a day's play. I think at the start of the day, you and I thought that if we were at 1-1 at the end, it'd be a pretty good result for Australia.
Well, just recapping, Gustavo Kuerten winning as Pat Rafter forfeited at 1-2 down in the fourth. Rafter took the first set, the third set a tie-break, but then Leighton Hewitt came out. He won in Brisbane in the year 2000, 4-2 and 3. Today, 3-3 and 3. Very uniform performance there by Leighton Hewitt. And interesting to have a look at some of the statistics. We noticed in the first match we saw that Pat Rafter won 27 points at the net. But this, I think these stats, when they come up, we'll see this is more like a baseline slug that we saw from Hewitt and Meligeni.
Yeah, it's different style of player, both Hewitt and Rafter, of course. Rafter the serve volleyer and Hewitt the baseliner. And if we have a look at the serve, not a lot of difference on the first serves. Hewitt doing a little better, though, when he got his first serve in, winning 75%. The forehand winners, well, they both hit a lot of big forehands. Hewitt was a little bit better off the backhand, and he did come in a few more times, and actually at some important times, and his net game has definitely improved.
And those unforced errors, a lot of those crept in late in that third set.
Yes, late in the third set when he just got a little tight as he was finishing off that match. But overall, I thought a very mature performance by Leighton Hewitt, particularly as we were down 1 rubber to love.
We might go now to some of the highlights, and interesting that he capitalised on early breaks in each set, although he did extend it a little bit in the third. But as you mentioned, it was polished, it was emphatic, and it was just what Australia needed after that early setback with the Rafter forfeit.
Well, he was under a lot of pressure, wasn't he, when he came out here? We're down 1 love. He's supposed to be our star player, our star clay quarter, and he has to win this match for Australia. Otherwise, we're down 2 rubbers to love, and the quarter-final is looking very, very doubtful. So he really played a fine all-court game, and particularly in the first 2 sets, we see Meligeni putting away the ball there. But in the first 2 sets, Leighton Hewitt was really very, very punishing on any short ball. I thought he hit his forehand well. He got into position, hit that off forehand very well. And really, he was completely in control. He came to the net a few times on important points and showed us that he's got an improved net game.
He showed tremendous composure in the second set too. He was leading 2-1 and then was down love 30 in the fourth game, but held on, showing terrific courage and determination to come back from that, and really laid the platform for what I said to you earlier, a quite emphatic victory in the end. Although Meligeni did come back and show some great guts, he was stirred on a little bit by the little fracas in the stand and the delays, and we were worried about Leighton pumping the crowd up, but Fernando did his little bit for the local partisan crowd as well.
Well, he was always going to be a dangerous player because he's got a lot of flair, he's got a lot of flamboyant shot-making ability, but he's just a little loose, and Leighton just made him play too many balls so that he just wasn't allowed to produce a lot of flashing winners. He had to keep getting the ball back and playing a lot of shots, and in the end he just couldn't keep up the range of shots that he's got.
Sets up a lot of intrigue on Sunday, depending on the result of doubles tomorrow, but Gustavo Quirt and Leighton Hewitt has all the ingredients of a terrific encounter.
Well, it sure does. The two number ones will be playing there, as we see some touch here from Meligeni. The doubles, of course, as you said, though, it's an intriguing match also tomorrow. We're not sure what the matchups will be, but Don Fitzgerald said earlier after Rafter's loss that he was expecting him to bounce back and play, that the elbow should be okay. So we'll see. We'll see whether Leighton Hewitt may even play doubles. I mean,
he and Arthurs have played successfully before.
Wayne Arthurs is named in the doubles with Pat Rafter, but it might be after Hewitt's success there, winning in 3 straight, that in fact he may be called in to play doubles. He's the current US Open doubles champion, so not too shabby on the doubles court either, young Leighton. So
Alan, it's only a couple of years ago that we saw this young fellow make his Davis Cup debut in the United States, and he just seems to be growing in stature. He's had a couple of wonderful years on tour, and he really revels in this. We knew that Edo used to love playing Davis Cup tennis for Australia, but he revels in this team environment, doesn't he?
He does. He is a great Australian, Leighton Hewitt, no doubt about it. He's intensely patriotic, intensely